Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Levi. I'm the founder of Dynamic. We help financial firms grow their or increase their lead generation by at least 80% every single month. This is the podcast, The Balance, and today I'm with a very special guest, David. Thank you so much for your time. I'm really excited to record this podcast today. Um, to get started, could you tell us a little bit more about who you are and what do you exactly do?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Levi. I'm the director and co-founder of an accounting firm called Factor1, based in Australia. We've got 90 odd staff members. Business has been going for about 10 years and has been growing strong.
Nice, nice. And you mentioned you are the co-founder. How did you get into this? How did you start everything? And can you tell us a little bit more about your journey in the past 10 years, but also before that?
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I was always a maths kid at school, and just one thing led to another, and accounting was sort of my calling. Did accounting through university and all that sort of stuff. Worked for other accounting firms for nearly 15 years, and met my fellow business partner Terry about 11 years ago, and we decided to go out on our own and start Factor1. Just the two of us, basically, did on 10 years ago.
Nice, nice. All right. And why the name Factor One?
Look, we wanted something different. That was a lot of accounting firms just go with their names, like Fitzgerald and Chung. It could have been the name of the practice, but we wanted to go something a bit more different. And yeah, Factor1 just seemed like a nice, catchy, short name.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds really good. So you've been doing this for 10 years now as an entrepreneur, right?
Correct. Yes.
And before that, have you done like accounting as a normal 9 to 5 job, or did you start entrepreneurship straight away?
No, I was in working for public practice accounting firms for about 15 years before we started Factor1. Yeah, so I was working in other firms for nearly 15 years.
Okay, okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. And what made the switch? Why did you think like, hey, after 15 years, now it's time to do it for ourselves together with your business partner?
Yeah, look, I'd always wanted to get to that partner level in an accounting firm, and yeah, it was always a desire to run a firm, be a partner. My fellow business partner and we actually were part of another smaller firm, and that wasn't working out really well. We had two directors that were end of their career and two directors sort of at the start of their career, and we're on different journeys. So that's why we broke away from that practice and started Factor1. So
Interesting. And with Factor One, you've been doing this for 10 years. What
yeah.
is like the big vision or big thing that you're working towards? Let's say the goal.
So our goal that we've been working away for the last 10 years, which we've just hit, was we wanted to make the Australian Financial Review top 100 accounting firms in Australia. Um, we're hoping to debut on that list November this year. All things going well, that we should debut on that list this year. And then the new goal that we've set over the next 5 years is to climb up the ranks of that list and be inside the top 50. So be one of the top 50 accounting firms in Australia.
Nice. And what is the plan? How are you planning to achieve that?
So we've got two strategies going. One is growth by acquisition. So we've acquired quite a number of firms to this point, and we envisage that to continue to keep acquiring other firms. And also marketing and promoting ourselves and bringing on new clients as well with new service offerings and promoting all of our different service offerings.
Okay, so you're actively like acquiring other firms, and then you just basically buy their name. It becomes Factor One. You get their employees, you get their clients, and that's how you grow. That's the main strategy at the moment.
Yeah, that's been our largest growth for sure, is by
Yeah,
acquisition. Yeah.
yeah. Nice. Sounds really good. Okay, cool. And with um, reaching this goal and working towards this goal, obviously, I assume there is a lot of challenges as well. For Factor1 and for you as an entrepreneur, what is the biggest challenge that you're facing at the moment?
Yeah, I think we're facing two parts to the challenge. One, on our acquisition growth strategy, there's a lot of competition in the marketplace. For every one firm that's looking to sell, there's about 70 interested parties to buy. So weaving our way and becoming a point of difference as to why a vendor would want to work with us is definitely a big challenge we face. The other side of things is the sort of ongoing technology disruption to a certain degree. Accounting, the bread and butter accounting, the tax and compliance work is becoming a bit more commoditized, where it's not as personal maybe as it once was. So it's becoming a lot more price competitive as well. So yeah, technology in general has just presented lots of challenges to adapt and move with, making sure platforms like Xero we have in Australia now has a infrastructure of like 700 different sub apps that can join into that platform. So trying to stay ahead of that and up to date with 700 additional plugins becomes very challenging and near on impossible. So yeah, cutting through the noise and focusing on the key technology platforms.
Yeah. And what is your view on the future of your firm, the future of accounting in general, I would say, with the growth of technology, that I would say the hyper growth of technology and especially AI?
Look, I think taxes for any Western sort of country, taxes is what the government rely on. So I think the accounting industry is always going to be there in some way, shape, or form as long as the government need tax revenue. But it is streamlining and systemizing things. The manpower, the hours needed to achieve an outcome are decreasing. So yeah, with our industry moving forward, it's just going to continue to adapt. And for our firm, it's continuing to make sure we adapt so we don't get left behind.
Yeah. And what is for you the best way to adapt? What is like, for example, the biggest change that you've implemented in the firm recently?
Yeah, so Xero was a fair size disruption to the accounting industry. It's been around for about probably 8 or 9 years in Australia now, and that was a big disruption. And there's others sort of coming in that space as well, trying to disrupt the accounting industry from a technology point of view. So it's really just keeping on top of where the next technology change come from. At this stage, I'm not 100% sure where AI agents and the AI world's how much it's going to impact the accounting world, and whether people will just use AI agents and use ChatGPT to get their questions answered rather than ring their accountant to get their questions answered. So it's interesting time ahead.
Yeah, 100%, I agree. Next to AI, what and yeah, like these technologies, what other key trends in the industry are you responding to right now?
Good question. Definitely from an Australian tax office point of view, their level of data collection is ever increasing, making the compliance burden so much stricter. They've got so much more data at their disposal that there is more scrutiny and more pressure than ever before from the regulators, the Australian Tax Office.
All right, yeah, that's interesting. And with Factor1, why should people choose you as their accountant instead of probably all the other options in Australia?
Yeah, yeah, again, great question. So I suppose some of our standout points of difference that we really push is for a full services firm. So we've tried to really build an infrastructure where a client can come to us and have all their financial services needs met in the one spot, whether it's insurance broking, financial planning, mortgage broking, accounting, bookkeeping, the full suite. We've seen that as a real big pain point. A lot of business owners said, I don't want to deal with 5 different advisors to tell me 5 different things. I just want to come to the one place, deal with the one group of advisors to help me through that financial journey of running and owning a business and building wealth for themselves.
Yeah.
Again, technologies is the other part. There's a lot of the accounting industry is changing. There's a lot of baby boomers that are exiting the industry that were very perhaps not up with the technology. And being at the forefront of the technology game is a must for most younger business owners and that next wave of business owners coming through.
100%. 100%. So what would you say are your firm's core values, and how do these show up in the day-to-day operations?
Yeah, courage is one of our core values. We encourage all of our team members to have the courage to call things out, whether it's be something they've spotted with a client, to be actually go to call out and say, talk to the client, there's an issue here, there's a problem here, or it's simple things as unexpected or non-desired behaviour from many other team members, that they've got the courage to call that out. Adaptability is, again, another big value of ours. That the only constant now is change. Change is a constant, and being adaptable is critical. People that want to do the same thing the same way for 10, 15 years is not really a viable situation anymore. That adapting to change is absolutely critical.
100%. I totally agree, especially in this technology era that we talked about. Everything is going to change. If you don't change along with your firm, it's going to be a hard time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. David, for other accountants that are listening, or someone that wants to get into accounting, and someone that's looking to grow or maybe even open their own firm, what would be your best piece of advice for another accountant or an entrepreneur that is listening at the moment, that is looking to grow or looking to innovate their business?
Yeah, so if definitely someone who's at that starting off position, client relationships are absolutely critical. We find a lot of business owners don't want to change and don't like changing accountants. They see it as a hassle and a problem. So you've really got to build that relationship, and that's key. So it only takes a handful of clients, and then you do a good job for them and they trust you, and you build that trust, they will quickly refer you on to their families and friends. And personally, I've found a lot of business owners move in the same social circles as a lot of other business owners. So by looking after a small group of clients well first, it can grow quite quickly.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would say is, from the very beginning, build your systems and processes. We see time and time again with a lot of firms that we acquire, they get to a certain size and they've done it via brute force. They've done it by just working more and more hours, and they get to the stage where they're burnt out. And it's because they haven't put well-defined, well-documented systems and processes in place. Document how you do things, why you do things. So as you build and bring on potential staff members, they've got your system that they can follow.
Yeah, that's a good piece of advice. If people want to learn more from you, or if they want to work with you, if their business is based in Australia, or if they just want to connect with you anyway, what is the best place where they can find you or reach out to you?
Yeah, no problem. I've got a LinkedIn profile. The business has got a LinkedIn profile, so they can hit me up on LinkedIn, David Fitzgerald or Factor1 Accountants, both on LinkedIn. I can also provide email addresses through, but LinkedIn is usually the best way.
Perfect. All right. I will also make sure to put like a link to the LinkedIn, the website, and stuff like that in the description of the podcast below. For people at home listening, you can find it there. David, I really want to thank you so much for hopping on the podcast today. It was valuable to get to know a little bit more about you, about your firm, about your vision as well. Do you've got some last words maybe for the podcast?
Yeah, last words. I suppose anyone, the accounting industry is shrinking. It's not a sexy industry to be in these days. From what we hear and see from a lot of universities, it's their intake and their enrolments in accounting are significantly down. For anyone that loves maths, loves puzzles, love putting things together, accounting can be a great career. If that's for you, chase it, go after it. Personally, I think it's an industry that's going to be around, as I said, forever and a day. That as long government need to collect taxes, there'll be a need for accountants. So if that's an area that you want to get into, go for it and chase it.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, David. I really appreciate it. For the ladies and gentlemen at home, thank you so much for listening today. Our guest today was David Fitzgerald. My name is Levi, and this was the podcast, The Balance, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.